Damage limitation for the French. We'll see. Let's cross back to Penrith and your commentary team of Wayne Pearce and Andy Raymond.
Owen tries because the French at best look unlikely. Taking the ball from the restart, Olivier Alima, front rower, originally named in the starting side, is relegated back to an interchange role. Moving the ball wide and moving it early here, France. One off the receiver and nice and deep was Adel Fallouz. Good short ball there to Sadaway, but he was very well patrolled and monitored defensively on this near side for the second half in combination. It's Francis Melly and also that man in Missy Taliapapa. So in the tackle is Harrison Hansen. Hansen really the only genuine 80-minute forward in the Samoan side. Made 43 tackles against Tonga, 36 tackles against Ireland. Hasn't had that much work to do tonight, pretty simply because his side has had a majority of the football.
And it's good to see France start with a strong set. That's their best set of the match. They got to their sixth tackle, they got a good quality kick in, and they had a good kick chase. What they need to do is get off the line like they just did just then and shut these Samoan forwards and guys running out of the playable area down before they gain some momentum.
Junior, as a coach, with France's defence seemingly as fragile as it is, are you after line speed and getting up quickly, or are you simply trying to maintain your line and minimise the issues that you have?
Well, the Samoans are a lot bigger side than the French, so the French have got to use that mobility to their advantage. That means getting up quick, trying to shut the big Samoans down before they get the momentum. That's a great kick.
A huge kick and almost a 40-20. The first bounce was good for Samoa. The second bounce went in favour of France. Tackled easily, tackled nicely, a three-man Samoan tackle. Talapau in there, so too Siu and Ben Teo from the right fringe coming in. Tony Pulatua playing in the middle corridor at the moment, maybe up front in the rotation that is being used now by John Ackland. Here's both he and McDade the front rowers. Lauatiti perhaps a second row with Ben Teo. Harrison locking the scrum. Last tackle for France. Again, a relatively positive set and an awkward kick now. As Samoa make it out from the back of their own field. Let's go down to the sideline with Scott and Sats. What was said at half-time?
Well, John Ackland, the Samoan coach, has basically said he wants to keep the intensity up, keep the big man versus small man battle going and continue to completing those sets. That's where they're getting most results. If they continue to be intense, the French won't be able to handle us. Now, the French, on the other hand, John Money just basically said, you got your last 40 minutes of this World Cup competition. You've had a great time. Just go and enjoy the last 40 minutes and see where that can get you.
Penalty to Samoa, just 9 penalties in the match so far.
No. Il le plaque avant. English.
A French discussion between the referee and the French captain. And I think it was Tony Pulatua saying, hold on a minute, we'll do this in English.
It was interesting because the penalty was for the French defender taking a player out of play before he received possession. But the ensuing dialogue was very interesting.
McDade short ball here to Hansen. Good low that time was Carrasco in 15. Long ball out to Lauatiti on that left fringe now. Carmon taken heavily over the top. It was Tomar Bosk. Initially in, coming in from the wing, Dimitri Pello. Now back to Ben Roberts it goes. The inside runner is Tony Pulatua. Would love a try here, captaining his nation in this final game for both sides in World Cup 08. Double knock on perhaps called. something, anything.
Fair play, French.
It has been ruled a French knock-on after all this and a Samoan offensive scrum.
I thought the French were very lucky not to get penalised because I thought that
Too quick out of marker.
Elamar, I thought he got out of, he wasn't marking up square. I thought he got to be penalised, so they probably got the benefit of the doubt there.
Come on. Ali. Come on. Okay.
Roberts goes the short side.
Oh, sorry.
Referee was in the way. An obstruction, the man in pink.
The referee said sorry.
Sorry to who?
Sorry to Ben Roberts. He says sorry.
Touch. Go back towards me. Sorry, bye. No. Touch me.
Good talk from the Samoans. Very positive, very proactive about what they want to do here.
Laurent. In. Heads in. Play on.
Now Roberts goes open side.
Play on.
Now to Melly. Melly on the outside of his man. Looks back to Talupapa, should I say. He simply ran out of space. The option was take the tackle or concede an obstruction and a penalty. Short side again, Carmon. Now to Melly, the two centres playing on the same side of the field. Melly wraps around. He's gone 30 metres across field and probably lost 2 metres. Options both sides of the ruck. They come right through Talapo. Now to Teo. Didn't have the kilograms behind him to be able to break through that French line. Siu. Talapo now to Roberts. It's looked dangerous today as Ben Roberts. Here is Tony Pulatua. Wide of the mark again off the second receiver, the Samoan captain. Roberts looked to put the boot through. It was taken on the heels of Ben Roberts. And 6 again as the call played at by Wilson.
A much better defensive effort by the French in this second half. They've started off with a lot more aggression in the line. They're getting up quick off the line and cutting down the think time from the Samoan ball players.
Talapo from South Logan. Short ball to Teo. A good ball from the half to his wide running back rower. There is try number 6.
And that all happened off the back of a restart to the tackle count. It was the last tackle. And Ben Roberts puts the kick in. John Wilson gets his foot to it. 6 again. And then they've got bodies in motion. Ben Teo runs back into the angle there, and just poor read. Very poor read by Sadaway out there in the centres. And Teo just strolls over. Good ball play. And I'm actually impressed with Roberts and Talapau, the way that they are actually combining out there today. Not a recognised combination, but doing some really good things in this Samoan outfit.
Ben Teo headed to Brisbane in 2009. 2 tries tonight on debut in the World Cup here. 28 points to nil. Kick to come from Ben Roberts from just wide of the H. And still over half an hour of footy remaining. Easy for Roberts as the flags go up. 30 points to nil in favour of Samoa, and still all the stats well and truly in favour of that side. 24 of 27 completed sets, 64% of the football, and they have forced France to make near 70 more tackles already.
And prior to that try, I was giving the French a rap for getting up off their line and shutting down as they go for the short takeoff and come up with a result. As Ben Teo rolls into touch, and the French now will get the feed and possession. So it was a well-weighted kick, not much Ben Teo could do about this one. And he gets forced over the sideline. So good tactic there by the French.
France very keen to pack the scrum to get the clock stopped.
No push before. On pousse pas Van. Bleu. Greg, la tête dedans. Head in. Okay. Out.
Depending on who he's talking to, depends on what language our referee is speaking in. And a knock on the ball was played at by Samoa there. They shouldn't have even had the opportunity really to play at the ball. It was slow service and slow passing. Poor reading from France.
Out.
Long ball from Bosk out to John Wilson. A couple on his right-hand side. Couldn't find either man because the drag in and also Pello were there. Molly is back on the field. 14 is Olivier Lima. Lima getting to his feet to play the ball to Bosk. Awful ball from the number 7. It was picked up by Taylor, then on to Sataway. Tried to get around and almost did get around Francis Melly. Planas was there, moves into dummy half. Now on to Taylor. And simple stuff in wrapping up Loren Carrasco. Molly. Wilson. Frequent ball movement and the ball now in hands of Samoa. And on that occasion, George Carmont was only a step or two away from breaking the defence. One-on-one strip, play on. So an improved performance in this passage of play from France. Here is Molly, thoroughly deserving, if anyone is, of a try tonight for France. 15 is Carrasco. 7 is Boss. Now it's Wilson. Back to 1 according to our referee. The count restarts. An awful ball out to the wing and absolutely nothing happening there for Dimitri Pello. And a knock on from Tom Arbrosk.
Well, a lot of lateral movement happening, but there's no real bodies in motion, no decoy runners, and the Samoans are just sliding across field and shutting down the French attack without any real dramas. In fact, the previous set on the last tackle where the French got a restart, they were very lucky to get the restart, but they should be testing, I think they should be testing with the high ball. They have not gone to the air once down this end of the field yet.
Come on, man.
Tough night at the office for John Money. Parramatta fans may be thinking if Money's got the bug, would he be interested? He was the last man to guide the Eels to a premiership in 1986. That is not going to be the case, though.
And I was chatting to him before the game. He's in the final year of a 3-year contract. He's had to work with this national team in France, and he said it's been a real challenge for him, but something he's really enjoyed. The main challenge is he says that there's half a dozen. Oh, good defence there from the French. Half a dozen players in this team that have come up from just the local competition that he's had to try and assimilate with the guys from Catalans.
Yeah, Catalans certainly have done a favour by the French National Rugby League team by forming some cohesion and combination there. What about that one from Kylie Luluai? 100 and something kilos on the end of that one.
He's a specialist hitman, Kylie Luluai, and renowned as someone who can really jolt you if you run straight at him. He won't be doing that again.
Adel Falous got shortened up by the Samoan hitman. Siu took a play at the ball. It was knocked on, so France will remain in possession with the scrum feed and with the loose. Ultimately, they will have the ball.
Another example here where Christophe Molly, who is a half 5'8", because of the shortage of hookers, he's been required to play as a dummy half. And I think that's caused some problems with their fluency through the course of this match as well. Not quite getting the ball out of dummy half quick enough, and that's putting pressure on the runners.
Here is France working again that short side. Don't forget, for all your World Cup Rugby League 2008 news, there is only one place you need to go. RLWC08.com has all the scheduling details, all the player profiles, and a great history on the Rugby League World Cup dating back to 1954. An opportunity for France. And the French flags to fly high. Little to celebrate so far this afternoon. Molly. Boss. Bumps the ball back a couple of times to John Wilson, who gets out of the first tackle, and it was again Lula Wine. Boss to dummy half. Short ball to his captain, Jerome Guisset. I don't think Guisset has looked as comfortable playing in the tight manner of a front rower as he has in the first two games, playing just a little wider with some more freedom in the second row. Last tackle. Taylor spits it back. Ball still alive. Bale and Samoa survive. Plenty of pride in the line.
Yeah, and another problem there, exposed. Last tackle yet again. Last tackle down near the opposition line. They just turn the ball over because if you haven't got an organised playmaker or recognised playmaker out there, you're trying to manufacture playmakers because your key dummy half and halfback are out injured, and it creates all sorts of problems when you're looking for options on the last tackle.
Of course, we speak of Maxime Grosek, the halfback out with a hamstring, and they are using their third starting hooker in 3 games. Julian Rinaldi, their #1 choice at hooker, did his cheekbone in game #1. James Wynn, their second choice hooker, did his shoulder and elbow in game #2. So as a result, young #9 involved in that tackle, Christophe Molly, is filling in. And just getting a little sloppy there, Samoa, some 57 minutes into the game.
Yeah, Samoa certainly gone off the boil there, not as sharp as they were in the first half. And they're not completing their sets like they did in the first half either. So,
in fact, Wayne, they were 24 from 27 sets in the first couple of minutes of this second half, which means their last 4 sets they are yet to complete because they're currently sitting at 24 from 31. Have we got an issue with Miss Italia Papa here? We certainly do. Look at the face of pain, and as soon as he plays the ball, he goes down. Is it that right knee or right ankle, perhaps?
Allez, quick.
Assisted to his feet. And very slowly moving his way back into position. 10 tackles, 12 runs, and a 4-pointer here at CUA tonight.
Yeah, he plays with a lot of enthusiasm, Miss Italia Papa. He's not one of the bigger wingers in the competition, but he makes every run, every tackle count.
Wait.
Fallouse. Been a little disappointing tonight. Adele here is Molly. Now to Bosk and to Wilson, who is not a natural #6, far from it. As a matter of fact, Taylor got an ordinary ball on his outside to Sebastian Planas. Taylor a dummy half. Again, it's Fallouse. 9 hit-ups, should I say, just the 6 tackles. Bosch. Final play, final chance for France, and was well cleaned up at the back by Tanguy Ropati. And the changeover has been ruled 10 metres out as we go to the sideline with Scott.
Well, it's been a tough workload for a lot of these sides in the World Cup, especially France. They've had a first-up win down in Canberra. But the player they really missed, and it was very early on in that match against Fiji, was that man sitting behind John Money, the coach now, James Wynn, played hooker, get their first man of the match. He's the player that got them on the front foot, coming out of dummy half, creating opportunities for France, and they've really struggled since they've lost him. Now, unfortunately, the last 22 minutes in this game, and the way that the Samoans will get into a bit of a groove the last 20 minutes, this score could get ugly.
Follows all over Talapo in that tackle. Here is Kylie Luluai, who along with Steve Matai faced suspension for one match apiece. Matai, of course, back for New Zealand in last night's victory over England. I think if there was betting on suspensions going into the World Cup, Kylie Luluai and Steve Matai would have been an absolute sure thing quinella.
Well, they both play a very physical game, that's for sure, and like to put their hits on. But Kylie Luluai because he's built so low to the ground, he's the perfect player to actually get up and in and really under your rib cage. So anyone that runs straight at Kylie Luluai has got rocks in their head. You've got to put a jink on him. You've got to put a bit of footwork on him, otherwise you're going to get punished.
Actually, if you were going the Quinella, Luluai and Matai, you probably would have boxed Adrian Morley in there somewhere, and you would have been a certainty to collect something. Big Moz has been well behaved so far. The tournament not over for Adrian, though. This is Jamal Fakir. Slow to his feet under the weight of the front row tackle. It was Luluai and Pulatua. And an easy drop of the ball, Jean-Philippe Bale. And Samoa are running away with another. It is try number 7. And it is Bulldog Benny Roberts.
Yeah, it's zero. Just check something, knock on.
Just checking the knock on. Our video ref this afternoon is Stephen Clark. Drop ball there. An easy pickup for George Carmont, who's already got one. Nothing to look at here. Ben Roberts, who's had an indifferent season on the field and off the field, truth be known. He's a wild one, this one. He may well have claimed 4 points here. The entire three-quarter line already has tries to their name, now to the number 6. Even though he has been wearing the 6 on his back, he's played a lot of first receiver tonight. And Albie Talapo in 7 has played opposite side of the run.
Yeah, they were in top gear for most of the first half, the Samoans, but since half-time they've dropped back a couple of gears, and this might give them a little bit of a kick along again because it was against the run of play. Poor error, just cold drop there by the French, and Georgie Carmont picks it up, positions his 5'8" perfectly, and Benny Roberts, good touch of speed to come up with the try. But they definitely have dropped back their intensity in this second half, Samoa, and it's understandable because they were so far in front at half-time, 24 points to 0.
Joseph Paulo, a Penrith native, a Penrith Panther, one of 3 in this Samoan side with the boot. And hasn't he hit it well from the sideline? Has the standout been returning from suspension, Kylie Luluai? The Samoan hitman has had an impact on this one. Just ask Eric Anselme in 12. Still trying to figure out if he's in Penrith, Parramatta or Paris.
As I said, one of the strongest players in the competition, Kylie Luluai, and he has been rock solid out there for the Samoans today. And one of the reasons why the French haven't gained any yardage through the ruck. They're still struggling to get over that advantage line and try the short kick-off yet again.
Very well scouted there by Samoa. However, the execution wasn't as good. This time, they were expecting the short kick-off. They had Ben Teo playing guard in 11 there, and Francis Melly, who is good under the high ball, as the designated leaper. Wasn't able to control the footy.
Well, it's a tactic that you'd think NRL teams or any English Super League teams will use more often, because it's very difficult to defend if you put the ball in the right spot. There's not too much you can do again. It's a 50-50 ball.
Short side they go, Fakir. Making good meters, Jamal, and a penalty to France. The count 6-5 now, penalty-wise in favour of France. Olivier Alima has been the busiest man in the tricolour jersey. 26 tackles and 8 hit-ups. It's been a good performance from Alima, despite the fact he started from the bench. He is there now as well. Guisset! The French captain opens their account. It may well have taken 63 minutes, but France is on the scoreboard.
Yeah, beautiful line running there from Guisset. He hit the hole. He's been strong throughout this match. Comes back into the gap, gets inside. The halfback Talapau there. And great ball also. Beautiful ball out of dummy half by Molly. And there's not too much that Talapau could have done about that one. But I think it's a reflection also that Samoa have dropped their intensity since half-time. You're sure they've scored 2 tries. One was against the run of play, but also full marks to the French. They've come out a lot more disciplined in their play in this second half, and certainly their defence has been a lot more robust than it was in the first half.
Thomas Bosque, his first of the afternoon. And a standout kicker so far this tournament. Adds to his personal tally. It is 36 points to 6. Once again, sideline with Scott.
Well, before this World Cup, we've heard a lot about Jerome Guisset, the French captain, coming over here, and just proved to us, I think, over these last 3 games that they play with the France, how impressive he's been. He's been tough. He's been very mobile in his run. He runs really good lines around the ruck. They're the man on camera as we see him now, the try scorer. He's come over here, and I think physically he's really stood up to a lot of the players, and not only playing the Super League against them, but also playing the NRL. And I think he's a player that can go away from this tournament with his head held high.
Taken by Molly. Bumping off there is Carrasco. In fact, in 14 it is Alima. Back onto the field. Wasn't given much of a rest. Of course, later tonight, Australian time, it is Australia and PNG from Townsville. Business end of the tournament. Next weekend, semi-final football. And then the November 22 Australian time final between the 2 best. Who is it going to be to determine the 2008 Rugby League World Cup champions?
You talk about good performance for the French out there, and the guy that's really caught my eye has been Christophe Molly. I mean, he's a 5'8" playing a dummy half. He's been involved in anything that's been creative out there today. Molly's been involved in it, and he put on the try there for Guisset with a beautiful ball. So, and also, he doesn't play for Catalans. He plays in just their local comp in France. So he's really stepped up to the plate in this World Cup.
It's a good run once again from Fallouse, who has improved in this second half. The ball goes to John Wilson, who grubbers through, and there's an opportunity here. And playing at the football, then into touch, it goes from Tanguy Ropati.
Yeah, great vision there, Johnny Wilson. He saw that the outside backs from Samoa are up. He saw that Pello had an opportunity, and scrambling across was Ropati, manages to force the ball dead over the sideline, but there was definitely a try-scoring opportunity there, and Johnny Wilson took the right option.
He had a couple of goes at Ropati, short side, that's where France go. They do so through their 13 Gregory Muniz. Christophe Molly moves into dummy half. Again, the 9, who has completed 22 tackles, has been quite offensively as far as individual running, has done a lot of feeding to his first and second receivers and some of his big men. It goes from Boss to Wilson. Shorter ball to Carrasco. More compact back rower playing on the fringes here. They've stacked the short side. Not what they had hoped for. However, However, they get the points. They were looking to manufacture some short, sharp passing. The ball went to ground, and good enough. It's Planas.
Yeah, the French go back-to-back, and Planas here, it was a good solo effort in the end. Once again, the Samoans switched off. And this French side, they're far from bundying off. They want to finish with some respectable scoreline, and Planas, good show of determination. Not a big winger, but manages to break through a couple of tackles and come up with the try. So the French starting to get a bit of field position, and off the back of that field position are coming up with tries.
Bosk, tonight 1 from 1. That was just a couple of minutes ago. A relatively easy kick for someone of this talent with the boot. From 8 so far in the tournament. Can he keep that 100% record going? You bet no! It's speared away to the right. 8 from 9, still not bad, Thomas. Oh, it started well. It was either the wind or the commentator's curse that pushed it right.
And once again, Johnny Wilson involved in this. Fake to go open side, then shuffle it back to short side. Taylor tapped it on, and Bosk, who is an outstanding kicker, kicked 250 points in the English Super League in the season just gone, was the second top point scorer in the competition, manages to push it after you, AJ, claimed it as a goal.
Claimed it short off the boot. Again. And was wrong. Again. Smith Samau's been put onto the field for Missy Talia-Papa on this near side, and Samau has had a very effective World Cup playing from fullback. The first game made 179 metres. That was against Tonga, made 177 against Ireland, and was favoured behind Tangi Ropati. Here goes France again. They're back-to-back here. In fact, in this second half, they trailed 12 points to 10. So it's certainly been an improved performance as Bosch goes over the top. And a chance here for France. Still. Was it forward? No, it wasn't. And Thomas Bosch, he scores the third.
Just in the last tackle. Just check for his onside offside, please.
Can't rule on a forward pass, and that's where I think the question mark is.
Well, he wants to check the offside to see if it was in front of him when he received the football, which they can rule on, but it's good to see the French trying something a little bit different. The option was on, the little kick over the top. We can see the fullback and winger way back deep. They've got the chasers there.
In front of the kicker, no try.
Yep.
Sadly.
Yep, no try there. It'll be called back.
Bigger Del Fallouz. Thomas is going to be called right back with just under 10 minutes remaining in this one. It is 36 points to 10. 7 tries to 2 in a demolition. Samoa over France. An amazing year of rugby league in the game's 100th anniversary. No try penalty, and that is for the offside in front of the kicker. We restart play. The referee running back into position.
Yeah, he's on 40 because he took the ball on the 30. He's offside.
And the penalty goes to Samoa. And a good long touch finder.
We see if Samoa can can actually up the intensity. They've really dropped back in terms of their go forward and their ability to offload in this second half. See if they can snap back into gear here.
Good initial run by Luluai from Pritchard, for Pulatua, should I say. The ball went on to Penrith teammate Paulo. Here is Tony Pulatua in jersey 12, the captain of the side tonight. In the absence of Nigel Vungana, back to Frank Pulatua. Beats one, can't beat the second. It was a good upper body tackle from Carrasco. And Pulatua has had the ball stripped, so a penalty to Samoa right in front of the sticks.
He put his hand up the wrong way there, the referee. Managed to just swing his body around. And the Samoans really need to try and get the ball out wide. They were causing lots and lots of problems through Ben Teo on this side and Tony Pulatua on the outside in the first half. They haven't given enough room in the second half.
Talapo on the inside to Luluai. Hard bundle to handle. Is Luluai inside the green 10. Roberts. Good juggling act there. He retains possession somehow. And there were 4 or 5 French over the top of him, and it is getting a little willing. Ben Roberts and Jean-Philippe Bale as the ball goes over the top, taken by France. Going nowhere and going there fast was Jared Taylor.
A little bit of variation. It's the first time we've seen the kick option by the Samoans in this match down in the attacking area. They've elected to run the football and come up with results most of the time. Well-weighted kick, good kick chase. And back-to-back sets now for the Samoans.
Restart of play and an awkward bounce into the hands of France. Good ball. Oh, Molly! Christophe Molly was smashed by Terence Siu. But down in back play is Jerome Guisset. And the ruling is taken out off the ball. Or after the pass, should I say. Wasn't a lot in it.
You probably, in the NRL, you probably see one of those a match, not penalised, so he did buckle him, though. And guess who the man was?
Yeah, it's the Samoan hitman. And Luluai exchanging words with Adel Fallouse on the field. Will Fallouse be the first man up? There he is, the 10, saying, I'm running at you or I'll go you if you're right.
Take a tip.
Oh, don't. Adele.
Just put a step on, will you?
Adele, yeah, develop a Neville Glover goose step. Do something, do anything. Do not run at Kylie Luluai. Adele tried and failed. In fact, Adel Fallouse, 10 out of 10 for bravery, not so for execution. And he didn't run directly at Luluai either. So 10 out of 10 for brains.
We can see here he drops the ball. Luluai tries to line him up. Ben Teo in the end's the one that gets him, but the Samoans back in possession and get a penalty, lifting in the tackle.
Tackle for lifting there. Now, the interesting part of this is now it's a restart for Samoa. And I say it with the utmost respect, and I know Kylie Luluai relatively well. He is half crazy, and he will be ready. Is he going to take the first up here? No, it's Teo. Luluai is deep, off the first receiver. Is he going to be used as a decoy here? No, Francis Melly taking it forward, and another penalty not onside. France not back the required distance.
What's he doing? Come on, quick.
He's playing games here, Terence Siu. Back to Talapo, now on to Roberts. Passing it wide to Pulatua. Short ball to Paulo. They continue the movement to Samoa, looking for try number 8 in these closing moments. Jean-Philippe Bale's got plenty in him. Not a big man, but he's willing to have a dig. Set him again on Big Tony. Pulatua, the captain, scores. The captain scores here at his former hunting ground, and they continue to exchange words.
He's had an outstanding game here today, Tony Pulatua, just shrugging off defenders, coming up out of the line, trying to put the hit on there. It was Carrasco, I think it was, but Pulatua just spins out of the tackle, boom, spins out of the tackle, looks at him and says, what are you trying to do? Just waves him away. It looked too easy in the end, but Tony Pulatua is the one that I think he's been the outstanding player for the Samoans. He's been dangerous every time he's touched the football on that side of the field.
Second row partner Ben Teo, I think, has been very effective as well.
Well, Ben Teo on the other side of the field hasn't had quite as many opportunities, but he's done everything right. He's been great. And having said that, I've been impressed with their halves as well. They've been able to link Talapau and Roberts and create the space for the outside backs to create the problems.
Junior Paulo. Doesn't he strike a ball nicely? 42 points to 10. Tony Pulatua off the field, and there's the squad captain, the veteran Snoop Dogg, Nigel Vungana, who is out with a knee injury at the moment. David Solomona there, suspended at the moment. And from the restart, are we going to get to see Lulawai and Fallouse? No. It's another short kick, and Melly in control of the football. Slammed to the ground by Planas.
And we should say that minus Solomona and Vungana, there's a lot of experience, but also a lot of attacking flair that's been taken out of the side, but it hasn't stifled the attack of the Samoans today at all. France has been gallant. They've tried, particularly in the second half, they've stemmed the flow of points somewhat, but they've just been no match for the power and flair of this Samoan outfit.
Without the pace, it was always going to be difficult there for the 7, Talapau, to break the line. Roberts steps again on the inside to Hansen. Last tackle for Samoa. Rubbers through. And a try perhaps, or a knock-on. And the knock-on has been ruled with just 90 seconds remaining.
Yeah, the referee did well there not to bother about going to the video ref, because I thought he got the call spot on. Yep, Talapau there knocks it forward. And as I mentioned before, France, this second half, been much more competitive, got a little bit more possession, but still, over the course of the match, Samoa have had 57% of possession, and it's very hard to defeat a team at this level when you dominate possession by that margin.
18 points to 10 in this second half, 24-0 in the first 40 minutes, so most certainly an improved performance, and a shared possession rate in this second half is highly responsible for that. They have been outplayed and outclassed, most certainly outmuscled. Lulawai and rolling around on the ground there, Olivier Elima. Fans go wide. Last 20 seconds of the game, last 20 seconds of the campaign for both sides. And there is going to be no rush to pack this scrum. In fact, the players are shaking hands already as the siren sounds here at Penrith's CUA Stadium. The battle 9th versus 10th in favour of Samoa. 8 tries to 2, 42 points to 10.
Much more